Hey, how's it going today? It's Frank here and I'm here with Terror Tuesdays. And this movie is called Escape Room. Wow, this is possibly one of the greatest movies I've ever seen on Netflix. It is up there with Kate. It is just phenomenal. The detail, the storyline, everything, it's just so detailed and so... It's going to be hard for me to explain every scene in this video. It's one of those type of movies where it's going to be a lot for me to explain. I might miss some stuff out because this movie is just insane. Especially the start. The start of this movie, I'm not going to say the character, but it shows a juxtaposition, right? Not going to say who it is. And so, you know, and then it says the 3 days earlier. So what this movie is about, it's about 6 friends, Zoe, Amanda, Mike, Ben, Jason and Danny, right? They're all strangers. The first 20 minutes, I'm just going to skip the introduction of that bit. They'll get invited to some escape room. And each room is obviously got full of traps and they have to figure out clues and stuff, right? Like, you know, it's an escape room basically. And each room, what I've noticed is that some characters were kind of having a flashback. It's almost as if like, it's almost as if like the escape room is like the rooms are designed to resemble what each character has went through basically. Watch this movie first. I'm telling you, you're going to be blown away by this movie entirely. So the first escape room, they were looking for clues and the room starts heating up and they're trying to figure out some clues. Zoe's one of those smart ones where she's silent but she's smart. She minds her own business, she's more focused, she's more concentrated. She doesn't get involved in any of the drama and any of the arguments with the other characters. And she figures out the clue to the first room. You know, and the room, after they figure out the clue, the room was about to set on fire. But in one of the scenes, when one of the characters goes into Amanda, she's like in the military, so she imagines herself, she herself has a flashback to what in her military days, you know. And in the next room, they go to like this room where it's like a cabin basically, and there's like a 7-letter word they have to put in or a name or whatever it is to unlock the door. And then this I think it's, who was it? It's Ben. He's in that room and he sort of looks at the reindeers, right? Basically the reindeers in the woods, like the mantelpieces basically, or whatever you want to call ornaments or whatever it is, decorations or whatnot. And he looks and he was like, hold on a minute. He has a flashback to him and his friends in the car singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So they open that door. It's a 7-letter word. So open the door and it's open. They then go to this room full of like ice, basically. Like freezing. There's a freezing cold room and they figure out what's going on. And there's like some sort of like invisible like barrier there that Danny just finds out, you know, when he just go close to it. When he tries to look for some clues or escapes or whatever it is. They have to find out. They have to find a key. Zoe is also like observant. She has a compass and she thinks that she's going to like this like dead polar. It's not dead polar bear. It's like a polar bear that looks like it's been taxidermied. It could be a statue or something. I don't know. And she finds a magnet, and it's meant to be attached to a rod that they find to go into like the ice to pull something out. Like it's maybe like a big cube with a key inside. And there's also like a jacket that Zoe wears and somebody else wears. And when Jason puts it on, he sort of has a flashback to when he was like stranded in like in the ocean, the boat with like a friend of his. And yeah, that's taking him back. And then, you know, eventually they try to, when they do get the block of ice with the key inside out, I mean, like Ben is the only one with, like, you know, with a lighter that could burn it. He throws a lighter on a part of the ice. Danny fetches it, and he gets, you know, he kind of drowns in the freezing waters. And then they eventually like have to. They use their body heat from their hands basically to, you know what I mean. Anyway, like they have to use the heat from their bodies to melt the ice, and they get the key open. And when they try to open the door, they realize it's not the correct door, but then it did actually open it. So I think whoever's behind the camera opens it basically. And then they go to it and the yard starts breaking apart and stuff like that. And they get inside. They're upset that Danny's like, you know, they're dead in that water. They come into another room, an upside down room. That's like So it resembles some sort of bar, but it's upside down. This is probably my favorite part of the movie because this is the most tense. This movie is the tensest I've ever watched. Possibly one of the tensest, because I've watched other tense movies before. There's something about this one that makes it extra tense. It's like Saw, but a kind of different type of version of Saw, which is kind of cool, to be honest. And they go into this room and they have to figure out, because they notice there's an 8-ball missing, and there's like a safe that Amanda tries to unlock, and she needs help with like the other characters, and the floor is like falling apart basically. And Zoe starts realizing it's a siding puzzle, so she then realizes it's all color coded, and it actually resembles like I think the balls on the table, the billiard balls, and they put that. And once the code's been put in correctly, there's an 8-ball inside, which is like the doorknob basically. And she has, she's the only one on that side where she's not where the door is. She goes through. She has to climb. She's on the pool table, and there's not. I mean, there's this. This is a mad part. This scene, this escape move is mad. And then she eventually has to pass the 8-ball to Jason because she can't really make it, and she falls down. And there's one scene in that sort of escape room where Zoe has a flashback of her because her mum was involved in some sort of plane crash, as she died for the impact of the plane crash to her. So yeah, and she has a flashback, then she gets back up. So yeah, so they leave that room, and then there's only 4 characters there. They go into like the next room. It's like a hospital room, and the beds are there. They are beds, and there's files of them, that information of them. Not going to get into them. It's going to be a lot difficult for me to explain. But they're figuring out that the rooms are designed for them, but then they weren't meant to win in that sort of case. And they have like a few minutes to try and figure out how to get out or get gassed basically. I think it's like what gas was it? Oh, monoxide, I think it is. And yeah, Zoe's just there trying to bait the cameras because she doesn't want them seeing. A bit of a silly thing to do, but yeah, man, it adds to the tension of the movie. And Jason has to figure out who he wants to, who's the best off doing this sort of like thing, because they have to. It's basically like what is it? The thing where you do the heart rate thing. Oh my god, a defibrillator or something. That's it. Yeah. And yes, the heart rate has to be at a certain percentage until like the door opens up basically. And then he accidentally kills Mike when he was like trying to like defibrillate him to see the heart rate goes like up or whatever it is. But then Jason ended up doing it himself using his own heart rate. And yeah, Zoe doesn't want to leave. She wants to break everything, but she tries to find a way out. And then she doesn't come monoxide. No, yeah, monoxide. I think monoxide poison anyway. And then it's just Jason and Ben left basically. And yeah, so it's just, I mean, it's weird because usually the type of character Zoe is, you would think she'll be like going to that room as well. Not quite the case. This scene here in the escape room, actually, I don't want to say too much. I mean, she does survive at the end. I mean, it would make sense because the character of her that observers would survive. But I'm just saying, it was kind of a bit bizarre how she was in that scene and she actually died. But then I'll get onto that in a minute. Soon. And you see like Jason and Jason and Ben just having a bit of like an issue, having a bit of an argument. He's a bit skeptical. Ben's a bit skeptical of Jason and whatnot. And then there's like the room is like they open up something and and they begin to get all drugged up or something. Like I don't know, something on their hands, like to poison them or something. And Ben finds like an antidote, right? Antidote. What? No. I'm actually doing well to talk about this movie right here. Antidote. It's antidote. Come on, man. And then yeah, he finds the antidote. This he starts fighting with Jason over it, and he then eventually kills Jason. And he injects. Ben injects himself. And this is where the juxtaposition is, right? This is the part I didn't want to talk much on because it'll give it away. This is the juxtaposition because he's a character in that room trying to figure out a clue to get out. So when he figures it out, this is like the part that they show. But what they don't show is how Zoe actually survives after two people come with like hazmat. They look at hazmat suits. Never seen them before. I don't know how she survived it. I don't really understand how she survived, unless she was pretending to be asleep. Because I'm sure with monoxide you have to, unless it's a different, I think it was a different gas. I just can't really remember. And then she eventually escapes. Mike also escapes as well. He escapes and he finds out, about the game master. The game, the dude that organizes. It's not organizes the puzzles, but organizes the game, basically. And it's kind of like a trick. They weren't really meant to win, and he then tries to kill Mike. I'm not going to say what monologue this game master person was saying, because that's just going to be too long. He was saying a bit of like, some sort of like interesting piece of dialogue, which I was more focused on the rest of the movie. I mean, yeah, that was nice and all, but I was enjoying the movie. Like that, didn't have to add that dialogue in, but I guess it makes sense, to be honest, these type of movies. But then he kills him, but then Zoe comes to gun and shoots him, and then he eventually dies, and then they escape finally once and for all. But weirdly enough, the game master's face was showing on the screen like he was participating in it, so it wasn't actually over. It was still continuing. And then they're in hospital, and then it cuts like, and then the police or the detective shows up, and she goes into like that one of the rooms basically. And this is the part that confused me, because they said there's no evidence of any of that happening. Mike was not Mike. I keep getting confused with Mike, but Ben is the one that is Ben. Ben has like some sort of free substances in him, and she said that's where the game took place. And when I looked at the room, it didn't look like the room that was shown, which is quite crazy. And then she looks at something called No Way Out, and it's an anagram called what? Like what's that doctor name that they showed? I forgot, man. That's important in the movie, but I didn't get it. What's it meant to resemble? What was the I know it's an anagram, but what's it supposed to mean? Is there something relating to her? I never understood that. She started like screaming like annoying. So I would be too. It would have been an interesting ending if she killed all of them. It would have been quite crazy to have something like that, but I guess it would have made much sense with what she went through. So yeah, and it says 9 months later. I think it's 9 months later anyway, and it shows her and Ben together. So I assume they started dating or whatever it was. And she has all the files of like the people that died in playing that game, and there was information about them that was already mentioned earlier in the movie, but she wants to find out what's going on, and she wants to go on like some sort of plane somewhere to find out, and she's going like a few weeks or something like that. I'm just like, okay, fair enough. Is there like an escape room 2 happening? Is there? Please, I mean, there should be. If the first one is good, please make a second one. Producer and director and script writers, please make one. Please make a second escape room, because I can't fathom how great this movie is. It's incredible. I mean, there is another part in this movie. There's like the end part where these people on the plane, and they figure out some sort of puzzle there. But as this person was about to steer the plane to safety away from like a mountain or wherever it was, it just showed it's like they were in a sim. Like they showed like, oh, a computer started turning like they were in a simulation. And you start realizing, wait, what? Was the whole escape room a simulation? That didn't make much sense to me. And it shows that the whoever it was behind the screen, they don't really show the person behind the screen. It's just like a black silhouette basically. They're saying, oh, this person's not really, eligible to fight, or they don't have a probability of doing well. I don't know, they're gonna track this person or something. I find that a bit. It was weird that they had to have that ending. That they could just ended it where she said, I'm gonna be going on to this place in a few weeks. Like that ended. I mean, it didn't make much sense why they have to have that ending, but it made it a bit interesting, I guess. But yeah, maybe have a drink of tea, man. Oh man. Oh, I needed a sip of that tea, because I spoke a lot there and I explained a lot. Explain the whole entire movie takes us even 15 minutes. Incredible. Yeah, well, what can I say? well done to who made this movie. I'm gonna hashtag you. I can't believe I didn't look at the producer and writers' names in this, or directors, but you know what, you deserve a big round of applause for this. Absolutely incredible. I mean, and I'm not clapping you properly, but that was sensational. That was a masterpiece and a perfect movie. And it is horror and action, but I felt a movie like this is more horror because of the traps and the violence and how the characters behaved. It didn't feel like there was action to it because of the traps and stuff. It felt more like a horror to me. And they said B horror, B action. Don't know what that means. Brilliant. Absolutely sensational movie. I was hooked from start to finish. Right? I know I probably missed some scenes out. Watch it, please. I would beg you to watch it. I would suggest this movie through and through. It got me hooked. This is a proper movie right here. This is a great example of a perfect movie. Not some of the average movies I've seen. Like, this movie just takes the cake. It's just perfect all around. I just can't think of a single negative they have in this movie. I can't. And that's saying something, this type of movie. And if it's not everyone's cup of tea, fair enough. But I can't say anybody won't like this movie unless they're not into horror movies. That's fine. Right? I know it's got plot action, but it's also got horror elements. But that's fine. But if anybody's into horror and they watch this movie and think it's not good, then I don't know what else you've been watching, because this movie is, wow, it blew me away. Everything about it, every single detail. The detail in this movie is fantastic. Acting was fantastic. Everything in this movie it had everything that a whole movie like this should have. It's just brilliant. And I like how they didn't just have one room. Right, I thought, right, I read it as like, it was just I was thinking it's more in that one room, so I didn't read the information properly, because I think it was like they said that mazes and different rooms. I thought this movie was going to be based off just one room, just one escape room. They had different escape rooms, so they had made it original, and plus they added in the characters that relate to some of these rooms, which is fantastic. That's original. I think there's probably movies like this, but they don't include elements like that. Just brilliant. I thought this movie was going to be good, and it just blew me away. Rating for this is a solid 10 out of 10. I mean, I couldn't have given it any lower. This movie's perfect. I can't find a negative. I would always find a negative for something. There's just nothing bad I can say about this. This movie had everything. If there's an escape room 2, I want to be the first to know. 100%. And this video, I don't care how long it is, this movie deserves a lot of recognition, a lot of respect. Like the movie Kate I've seen, those type of movies deserve a lot of respect, because it's not often you find movies this good. I mean, there's a lot of movies I've seen that are good, but you know, you gotta give these movies credit. Like, you know, it's just fantastic. It's a phenomenon of a piece. It's phenomenal. I can't compliment it enough now. I think, you know what, I think that's it. I don't make the video any more longer. 10 out of 10 it is. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification below. I'll see you in my next video.